Yo, I know we've done it a ton, and actually Brittany talked to me privately, and she's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Can you stop shouting me out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I will." But shout out Brittany, bro. She's killing
Bro,
it.
you just broke your promise to her right now.
Yeah, I know. My promises, dog. No, but like, she's been posting at least one video to TikTok a day for the last 2 weeks. Would you say? We already have 7,000 followers, which is more than any other platform we have.
Oh my gosh, we've been pushing
And then
3 a.m. Instagram for almost 4 years now, and we don't even have 4,000,
we
dude.
ain't done shit. Yeah, we ain't done shit. And then, bro, she chops up our content, and low key, I watch it, and I'm like, we're funny. Dog. Like, this shit is funny, bro. It's like, this is a good podcast, man.
Dude, I have like the opposite. I'm like honing in on myself. I'm like, why you look stupid? You laugh stupid. What are you doing? Like every time.
Bro, if I tell you guys something, you promise to heed my warning.
Did we get another mac and cheese comment? Macaroni and cheese
No.
review? No.
But dude, people are haters. I like went through the comments. People, first of all, when I speak, my goal or objective is to go for the best story every time, at the sacrifice of maybe some stupid things called like the facts or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Those are the stupid things.
Like, I'm not tied down to facts. That's so lame. I try to tell the best story.
That's
you know what I'm
boring,
saying?
yeah.
And so, but when I'm talking about like factual or historical things, people on TikTok like really want, me to tell the truth. So all the comments are like, this kid is stupid. This kid does not know what he's talking about. This, it's like, I'm like,
But somewhat
It's
justified
funny. They're like,
though when
"Hey."
everyone else roasts that person for being wrong, more wrong than
Yes. Someone was like, I was talking about Aleister Crowley because they were like, it's Crowley, not Crowley. Anyway, I was talking about Aleister Crowley, and they're like,
Actually.
some bitch was like, she was like, yeah, were you there? And then someone just hit her back with, were you? Like, bitch. And I was like, hell yeah. When people like go to bat for us. Someone in chat just said, rule number 1, don't read the comments. I know.
Yeah, I'd never read comments. Dude.
Like, Brittany and I have talked a lot about it recently, and I think we're going to answer like the first 2 or 3 and then just let the rest be, baby. Like,
I see.
if y'all hate, y'all
I
hate.
see on TikTok people reply to comments with a video sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
You can like straight
Stitch
stitch.
it.
I'm just getting used to TikTok.
Yeah.
I downloaded a week ago.
I know. Welcome to hell, baby.
Yeah,
I sent
I
Deejay
opened
like
the app today,
97
and
TikToks.
it was like 58 messages from Charlie, and I texted and I was like, "Hold up, I gotta watch 58 videos from you real quick."
Yeah, that was where like 14 minutes of me being
It
on
was-
that app. Dude, man.
It was the second time I opened the app since I downloaded it a week ago, so that's why it accumulated so much.
We're hoping we get some traction. I actually have seen on YouTube several comments where like, I found you from TikTok.
Nice.
And we got more followers on
And we've
Instagram
gotten-
from, I assume, because of TikTok.
Me
They
too.
have to be related.
I'm gonna track the number downloads on our podcast and see if we get a bump at all. But hopefully we do, man.
Hopefully.
Gang.
Yeah. All
Let's
right.
get into it.
Sean, start
DJ,
us off.
take it away, brother.
I did last week.
Sean, take it away, brother.
What up? This is the 3 a.m. podcast. My name is Sean,
My name is
Deejay.
Charlie.
and we're a couple of friends that just tell sometimes scary stories, sometimes funny stories, but just having a good time while we do it. So
And sometimes we get the facts right.
sometimes we do get the facts right.
Yo, if you're a return listener, welcome back. If you're new, hello. It has been 1 year since Charlie spit in my mouth and I got the virus. And it was a big life event. And if you want to know the details about the event, you can go back and listen to the episode because it's quite hilarious. Despite it being actually life-threatening
True.
and putting me in the ICU. But I was thinking about it today because it's been a year. Like I got it on my
Crazy,
birthday.
bro.
Oh, that's right.
My birthday was Tuesday. And
Are you trying to say it's your birthday? You're trying to tell us it's your birthday
it
right
is
now?
part of it because I have a story with it. But no, seriously, I was reflecting on it.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
DJ.
Thank you. Okay. Just because
Bro, it's weird because it happened on my birthday. ...
Don't do this to me. Only I can do this to me. My family is really fun at gift giving.
They're like, here's some soap.
So my brother, for the first time that I can remember, maybe I'm just an asshole and I can't, but I can't remember like any time where he's given me a birthday gift, and that's fine. So when he brought it out, I was like, "Oh, dude!" Like I was excited. I was like, "Dope, dude!" And he hands it to me, and I immediately know what it is, and I know it's expensive, and it's a black case about yay big, the size of my head. It's a black case, and I open the clips, open the box. Lo and behold, it's a Glock.
Ooh, nice.
And
That's some why nice shit.
dude, first of all, a handgun, that's expensive. Like shotguns are cheaper than handguns. And 22s are cheaper than handguns. Obviously on the low end of shotguns and 22s. But this is his first gift, from what I can remember, ever to me. And he hands me the receipt, and I see the price. I was like, dude, this is a lot of money. It's kind of funny because I'm not super into guns, but he was so excited to give it to me, and I was happy to receive it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I opened it, and his name's Bubba, and he goes, "Yeah, I know you like to go to dark places." And I look at him,
You mean like
and he's like,
emotionally?
he's like, "For the podcast, you guys check out like haunted places." And I was
Okay.
like, "Oh yeah, bro." And I was like,
You're just like, out here shooting a ghost.
and I was like, to be honest, dude,
You're like-
you're right on both fronts, you know?
yeah.
But me immediately was not thinking about the podcast.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about
know.
emotionally. I was like, damn, he's trying to help.
He's trying to
assist you.
Oh
Yeah, he's
my
like, I know we
gosh.
don't talk much. I just thought we'd like solidify that, you know? Just never talk again.
He's like,
Never
nut up or
talk
shut
again.
up. Damn, so far we've laughed about COVID and suicide.
Death, dude.
It's our trauma coping. So deal with it.
Yeah, that's what I got for my birthday. Just a little scare, you know? It's a tradition to just think about death every year on my birthday now.
Yeah, I do the same
Dude,
thing.
he really wants you packing.
Honestly.
He was really like, man, if you need a gun out there when you're ghost hunting.
You do.
Like fingerless gloves, like you need a Glock.
But we do need fingerless gloves too.
I know.
Though, so
Well, it's funny because, yeah, I'm not into guns like at all. Like I'll go shooting with my family.
Just casually into guns.
My family likes to go shooting, so I'll go with them. I've never gone shooting by myself. This is my first gun, you know? So now that I have it, I almost feel like I have to play into it more. I found this dude on Instagram, and maybe you can look him up. Called GHG Hustle.
GHG Hustle.
Yeah, and it's a fellow African American dude, and he educates a community on guns.
Oh my god.
And all his guns look like they're straight out of like level 100 of San Andreas, like. And
bro, he looks like he's level 100.
I know, it's so dope,
He's all
dude. Yeah,
tatted
he's
and
got
shit.
like grills in all of his video. And then all his guns are like gold plated, and he's so hood with it. I love it. So I don't know. I might
Hell
like
yeah.
max
Dude.
out my stats on my gun now,
Oh, you
just
have
to like play into it.
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna be like that other Hawaiian Keanu, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know Keanu after when he was like at the gun rally and he's just hitting like all those
No.
targets.
Oh, as
You've never seen that?
Oh, Reeves.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. What other Hawaiian you know?
You're dumb. Like
My homie Keanu.
training
bro.
for John Wick. Which, by the way,
Yeah, that's
the
gonna be you in,
trailer
like,
for
a
John
month.
Wick 4 came out
Just
today.
dropped, dude. Looks so fire. I'm in.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, I thought that fool died in the last movie. or
No,
some
dude,
shit.
you cannot kill.
You cannot
John
kill the
Wick,
Baba
bro.
Yaga,
The Baba
dude.
Yaga. Oh my god, get out! Get the
Kills you.
Crazy. Well, I'm super glad I got to go with you to your birthday dinner and stuff, DJ.
So you gonna bag on me for that? For the life that you chose?
Yeah. Dude, I didn't choose the sickness. I just got down with it, bro.
Oh,
I can't go out in public because baby girl might contract the cold. DJ's like, come to my dinner. And I'm like, yeah. No.
Okay. Twisted that way. I said, I know you have baby girl, so you're not coming to my dinner, right?
he's like he already knew.
Just wanna make sure.
Wanted to make sure. Get a head count.
Dude, speaking of death, did you hear about the creator of the Oculus?
What?
I don't know as the creative Oculus, but tell
The
me.
creator of the Oculus, the VR headset, just created a new one with a game where if you die in the game, you die in real life.
What?
Which is an actual episode of
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror, dude.
Wait,
Oh,
why
yeah,
would anyone
100%.
play it then?
Dude, it just ups
Dude,
the
it's-
stakes. It's for the thrill. It's for the rush.
Okay, but for real,
That's
actually, I
something
might
you
play
would.
that.
See, exactly. You just answered your own question. You're the type of person
It
who
only
would
took
play
me
that.
10 seconds to be like,
Yeah. Actually,
all right, I'd do that.
I would. What do we think? Cop for the
mean,
pod? Play it
How
on
do you
Twitch.
die? How do you die?
Play it on Twitch.
Throw it on the wish list,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, does it say how?
Yeah, how exactly are you dying?
I saw a photo of it, and it has like 3 prongs right here, and they kind of look like that cow thing from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm talking
yeah.
about? How he puts the cow
Yeah.
prod up to the head. It kind of looks
It's like the
that
three.
right here.
What is it from Predator?
Oh yeah, the 3 like lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
So-
Can this, is this like instantaneous though? Because if it is, then that's chill. I don't want to like go
I'd
through
imagine.
pain as I die.
that's crazy. I love.
Bro, what if it's just like Tetris or Pong or some shit?
you
Like you
lose,
lose?
you're dead.
I love the progression,
Yeah,
dude.
adios.
It's because what was the first like real thing?
Do you remember Game
introduced
Shark?
In what about Game Shark?
64 Game Shark Rumble
Yeah,
Pack.
I do
where you
not.
put the Rumble Pack in, and it's like the first time your handle would shake. Nintendo 64. That was probably like the first
Of like
thing of
reality.
First vibrating.
Oh
feedback.
yeah, haptic feedback. Like I shoot a gun and I
Yes.
feel the gun shoot in the controller.
Or in Ocarina of Time, if you walked over like a hidden treasure, it would shake. You'd be like, "Oh, shit, I gotta dig here."
I
And then after that, I
I
don't
remember
know.
when I was like
Like,
9 and playing Pokemon on my Game Boy, I would like fill up the tub and like put on snorkels and put my Game Boy in a Ziploc bag and play underwater. That's kind of similar, right? That's the same thing, right?
You're lying, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You did that?
Deadass.
That's the riskiest shit I've ever heard in
No,
my
dude, Ziploc
life.
bag, double bag that.
That's the most Hawaiian thing
Game
I've
Boy
ever heard,
Color.
bro. You have to play
Game Boy
underwater.
Color underwater. Catch me in
Area.
Cinnabar Island, my guy. Catching the missing number.
You were the Ariel before the Ariel.
Yeah, but with VR, I feel like the first introduction to like actual real life stuff is when there was like VR porn. Sex.
100%.
Right?
That's like that pushed VR really fast, really hard.
If you ever want something done, just turn it into porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the porn industry took it really to
So
yeah,
so
they,
first was
they pushed it really
first
far.
was sex. Second, now we have death. What's
Death.
next for VR?
Yeah, what is next?
Actually, they've talked about trying to recreate like drug experiences so hard that your brain actually thinks you're experiencing like dimethyltryptamine or like psilocybin and stuff.
That's wild.
Which, by the way, they just voted to legalize in Colorado.
Dude, I seen that.
Colorado.
Magic
the
mushrooms.
spearhead, dude.
So we might have to do a tour. Let's do a live show in Colorado.
So drugs.
Bring the Glock.
Drug. For what?
Take the spot. You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny I have a gun because it's like I don't feel like I need to protect myself in like where I'm in Utah. There's no danger anywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I've never felt in danger here.
Yeah. Remember, like
I'm
deer
not
or
like in
some shit
southern
about where you are.
Chicago, you know.
Yeah.
But okay, so drugs is the next thing.
Probably.
Birth.
Death is way more like
Death,
absolute
I think, is like
than drugs.
100. Anything else is like below
Yeah.
100. So it's kind of boring at that point. It's definitely a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
So death is the end then. That's
Ooh, what is
crazy.
after?
Death is only the beginning, bro.
Oh! It's a step in our journey that all of us must
You
take.
ain't never seen The Mummy? Yeah.
fire.
Anyway, what the are we
I
talking
don't
about? Anything else we see in the world?
Let's see. Nope.
Someone else in the comments is like, y'all should just tell stories. You're not celebrities. No one cares about your life. And I was just like, bro, we do not do this podcast for anyone else. We do this for us. So
That shit kind of hurted though.
you were not. It's like you were not celebrities. It's like, bitch, I know. What the?
Who else is on this app? You know,
Yeah,
everyone else puts themselves out there.
dude. Someone criticized us. They were like, because I was telling the story.
We
and
just
they
said
were
don't
like,
read the comments,
the
and
other
you're
guy-
telling us all the comments.
I'm telling you all the comments. They were like, so I was telling a story. You guys are listening, and they were like, "What do the other guys even do?" And it's like, you just want like all three of us to talk at the same time. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
valid, yeah.
It's so stupid.
I
bro.
kind of ask myself that same question, though.
It's so dumb.
On that
Anyway,
note, should we get into it?
I say so,
Okay.
bro. So someone in the chat does bring up a good point. It's like we've talked about this behind the scenes for so long. We've talked about cutting banter, just doing stories. We've talked about just doing stories, no banter. You know what I'm saying? And we get about 50-50 feedback. Like half the people are like, I literally turn it off when you guys start telling stories. And then half the people are like, I literally don't listen to the banter and fast forward to the stories. So
You can't please everybody.
teach their own.
It's
Well,
like the
we're not
country.
trying to.
Exactly,
To be honest,
dude.
we're not trying to please anybody.
That's
except
true. We don't give a
Just trying to have a good time.
I
Between
care a little.
ourselves, you know.
I was telling him earlier, I literally don't. So
He's unhinged.
I know. On a scale, I would say on a scale of like who cares the least and most, it's like Sean is way over here, doesn't care at all. And then I care. I think DJ and I care pretty similarly. I think we interchange. But yeah, it's like our litmus for this show is like what makes us have fun.
That's true. Yeah.
What brings us joy. So
The banter's part of
hopefully
that.
does you too.
We also don't owe anybody
Exactly.
an explanation.
That's true.
I'm gonna say that right after
I
we
know.
explained ourselves.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
All right, homies. Tonight we're covering
Don't tell us.
an
Just get into the
urban
story.
legend. So,
Ooh.
let's start with the one Raymond Morris, Real Human, 1967. We're in England. Raymond Morris,
Good day.
long story short, sent to prison until the end of his days, where he passed away in prison in 2014. So he was in there for quick maths, 50 years about. And what he was sent to prison for was the murder of 3 young girls, ages 5, 6, and 7. One of them he assaulted and murdered, and the other 2 he just murdered. All, I believe, by strangulation. All of this happened.
What's this fool's name?
Raymond Morris. Raymond Morris.
F.
And it happened in a town called Cannock Chase in England. So it's around Birmingham, which is like central England. So Cannock Chase, after this happened, people started seeing things. An account of a woman in the forest where I think these murders happened, came across a girl crying in the woods. She approaches the girl removes her hands from her face, and she sees 2 fully black eyes. The girl runs into the forest, disappears. A search is done. They can't find her anywhere. This lady, this woman who had this account in the woods, had a nephew who wrote about this experience and similar experiences in a book called UFOs, Werewolves, and the Pigman. So the name of this man, the author of this book is Lee Brickley. So Lee Brickley, after writing this book, started to become the talk of the town. All the tabloids had to do with the stories from his book, specifically these black-eyed children or black-eyed kids. The first instance of this happening in modern days in the 2000s was a woman that he spoke with also in the Cannock Chase area who was chasing crying through the fog at night with her daughter. They couldn't locate the source of the crying, but as they got closer to it, out of the fog was revealed a little girl. She's talking to the little girl. Are you okay? What's going on? Can we help you? She too removes her hands from her face. They see two big black eyes. Startles this woman. She turns to her daughter, pulls her daughter closer to her, and looks back. And where the girl was previously standing, she was no longer there. So this was something that happened in the 2000s, more recent, that he wrote about in his book. And tabloids in England were talking about it for a pretty long time. It was a big sensation phenomenon, and it was ramping up. His book kind of started this like mass hysteria for what we know as BEKs or black-eyed kids. But he wasn't the first one that they heard it from. Historically, his aunt was the first we have like on record, allegedly. But the first one was actually, before we knew about Lee Brickley, before he wrote his book, the first one was from a man named Brian Bethel. And that one happened actually in Texas.
Bro, weird stuff be happening in Texas. He's the one who was just going to a movie theater one night, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Brian Bethel, he's going to see a movie one night, and he pulls up next to the movie theater. He's about ready to get out of his car when he looks over, and there's this light knocking on the window, on the driver's side window. And he looks over, and there's these two children standing right outside his door. And he described them as having an olive complexion.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them with big black eyes. And then the older of the two, or the taller of the two, was like, "Can you give us a ride? Our mom didn't give us money for the movie. We need to get home. It'll be quick." And first of all, my thought is, okay, this could be a good salesman because it'll be quick, overcoming objections before they happen. My second thought was, don't open the goddamn door. Our boy did not open the door. He sits there looking probably a little bit terrified, all the same. And then the older of the two, a little bit louder this time, says, "We can't come in unless you say we can." And our boy squeals out of where he's freaking parked and disappears, never to see these black-eyed kids again.
And he looks back, and classic, they're not where they were, in an empty parking lot. So, historically, these are like the main accounts that built up the urban legend that are BEKs. Do you know anything else about them, Charles?
Not off the top. I mean, I know like tidbits here and there, but I bet you're going to cover them.
So yeah, from there, there was like a ton of notoriety built off of BEKs. I said it started with the tabloids, but it started getting into like internet forums, fan fiction, productions, like films, and even like comics, all surrounding this one topic. And all of this happened within the last 10, 15 years. So it was pretty rapid. I would say like BEKs take up like a good chunk of creepypastas and the whole genre, I guess, of creepypastas, right? So it caught by storm. It was like happened in the same time as like Slender Man, the Rake, even the Goat Man, kind of. As far as like, I mean, all of these are creepypastas, right? Looking through, I was reading some of the comics and watched like clips from some of these films. Some of them are Sunshine Girl and The Hunt for Black-Eyed Kids. There's The Black-Eyed Children, the sequel, The Black-Eyed Children Let Me In, which are the films. And then the comic, BEK, talks about how they're regular children that turn into black-eyed kids if they accomplish the task of murdering their family. So that's how like BEK started getting into pop culture. Now, the origins. There's a lot of talk online about where like these actually came from, if they stem from other parts of paranormal topics. So, working in order of least likely to most likely, we're starting with one, demons. So, black eyed children or black eyed kids come from demons. And this started because, one, the assumption of a one, Annalise Michael, who is also known as Emily Rose, and her exorcism. And repeatedly in her exorcisms, she would have black eyes. Like I said, this is like the least likely connection. It's a very loose line to draw between black eyed kids and like demonic type stuff. But the constant occurrence of her eyes like turning all black is kind of like the only main thing. The only other thing is that black eyed kids always have to be invited in. Similarly to like demons, we talk a lot about like invitations. Even just talking about them can be an invitation of sorts for them to creep in, possess, whatever. So that's one, demons. Second is actually vampires. So there's a few different parallels drawn between vampires and black-eyed kids. The first one is the same as demons, is the invitation. There's a lot of cases in history where vampires had to be invited into somebody's house. It wasn't always the case, but it's shown up a few times in historic texts. The other one is them operating at nighttime. Vampires always moved in the night, same as black-eyed kids, almost always working in the late hours. And then the last line drawn from BEKs coming from vampires are allegedly, like, vampires survive off of humans, specifically like human blood. Black-eyed children don't survive off of human blood, but they're always needing something from humans. I guess you could say the same with demons, like needing that invitation to possess a body or something like that. But that's the vampires. The last and final one for origins are aliens. And this comes from an actual story, which is my favorite one that I've read while researching BEKs. And it takes place in Vermont. This happened in the 2000s, where a woman wakes up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, or for whatever reason, she sees, they live in rural Vermont. She looks outside her window. It's winter. There's snow on the ground. She can see little footprints in the snow outside their house. They don't have any children. She thinks it's strange, and there are like multiple tracks going like around the house, and she can see. While she's like observing through the window outside, she hears a knock at the front door. And she looks, she can see two kids outside. She goes and gets her husband. Her husband answers the door. At this time, before like the phenomenon, it makes sense to open the door to two kids outside in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
But they don't feel good about it. They're cautious. So they approach it cautiously, and they open the door. They say, "Where's your parents?" And they speak in a monotone voice, in an almost robotic cadence. They say, "They'll be here soon."
Ooh.
They'll be here soon.
They'll be here soon. So, trying to reason with these kids, find information, is cold, and you have no previous, like, besides like the premonitions they had no like other information on anything of this sort, right? So they let him in to the house. Said, "You can chill here till your parents are here." When they enter the house, this woman recounts about how the whole like mood in the house changed. They have a cat, starts acting skittish, starts hissing. She went down to pet her cat, who has always been very friendly. Cat freaks out, tries to swipe at her. So she decides to go and make some tea or some hot chocolate for everybody. After she does that, she comes back from the kitchen, the mugs, and during that time, husband is like trying to have some small talk with the kids and I guess entertain them since they are guests. When she comes back, her husband turns to her and says, "I'm feeling incredibly dizzy. What do we do?" She says, "Well, let's take care of these kids and then take care of you." She gives him the hot chocolate. And when she goes to the kids to give them their hot chocolate, it's for the first time she notices that they both have big black eyes, void of any white. She kind of like, it startles her, but she like sets the mugs down. She turns back to her husband. When the kids ask, I don't know if they ask or if they just say, "We're going to use the bathroom," and they march off to the bathroom. As if like they knew exactly where it was. While they're in the bathroom, they're talking about how strange it is. She's like, "Did you see their eyes?" And as they're talking about it, her husband starts to get a crazy nosebleed. As he gets a nosebleed, everything just kind of happens one after the other. Everything's compounding. The power goes out.
Oh boy.
They're in rural Vermont, and they see the two kids, their silhouettes inside the house. And it's silent and it's broken by their voice. And they say, "Our parents are here."
Oh, no.
So these kids in the dark walk towards them, walk past them, and to the front door. They open the front door, and through the door, they see a light shining in. They walk towards the light and they like follow the kids, and they can see it's a car in the driveway and their headlights pointed towards the door. And as they approach the car, out comes two men, well over 6 feet tall, in suits, open the doors. The kids get in, the two men get in, and they drive off. So this sparked the conspiracy that is pretty common when you see like discussions online regarding BEKs and their origins, that they're linked not just to aliens, but Men in Black. Furthermore, even offspring of the Men in Black, which we've covered before. So the offspring bit, I don't know exactly where that comes from. If there's like some lady involved and they just loved each other and created the Black-Eyed Kids, but I didn't know if it was like an offspring or like a project of theirs, that they developed.
That's valid.
It didn't end there, unfortunately, which seems like a similar occurrence to all like Black-Eyed Kid stories, was that if you do let them in, nothing happens immediately. Bad things happen over time. So within the succeeding months, every single one of their pets, their cat, had either disappeared or died suddenly.
That's sad.
Wife was constantly getting dizzy spells and nosebleeds. And most tragically, husband contracted like a rare form of skin cancer that the doctors could not trace like where it came from. Like it didn't run in the family, it wasn't hereditary, anything like that. So I'm not sure if he survived after that. That was kind of the last of it. But all of that happened within 2 or 3 months after the visitation of the Black-Eyed Kids.
That's pretty quick after, too.
Yeah. Like everything started spiraling downwards after that. So that was the origins. I had never, up until this point, like we've had stories here and there about Black-Eyed Kids, but I've never heard about the origins, especially like the connection to Men in Black. Looking further, Mysterious Universe, I think, did an episode on Black-Eyed. I mean, they had to have. I feel like they covered everything under the sun in this universe. Yeah. And there's a book.
I want to say they had a story from Utah
on Black-Eyed Kids.
What?
That's wild. There's a book that, and I don't know the name of the dude. who wrote the book. Ren, maybe you can look it up.
Yeah, what's it called?
If you search like Black Eyed Kids,
Nick Redfern.
Probably.
Black Eyed Kids, Men in Black book. But there's a whole book written on specifically that. And I wish I only found that like a few hours ago. So I wish I knew about it sooner.
David Whitley.
That sounds familiar.
David Weatherly.
David Weatherly is what it
Black Eyed
is.
Children revised 2nd edition.
Yeah, David Weatherly wrote a book entirely on this.
Okay, but that picture is kind of a little creepy
Yeah.
on the book.
What else does it say about it? Is there like a synopsis at all?
The classic study of BEKs is back in revised 2nd edition with an additional chapter from Brian Bethel reflecting on his encounter from the cover.
That's the movie
children are
theater
appearing
dude.
around the world.
Brian Bethel.
Yep. Strange children are appearing around the world, attired in old-fashioned clothing. Their skin is pale, and their mannerisms awkward. Their most startling trait, however, is their solid black eyes. They are knocking on doors and rapping on windows. Their voices are monotone and demanding, and they have one simple request. They want to come in.
Ew.
I don't like that.
Don't like that.
This is David
Dude,
Weatherly.
that's aggressive, dog. Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
hell
no
yeah.
means
Why
no,
he look
Black-Eyed
like the kind of
Children.
person that's going to write?
Dude, David Weatherly.
I mean, that it won't pick it
I
up
can
bigger.
see. I can see.
where's
I'm going to screenshot this and add
This
it
guy
to our-
looks like Channel 5 News where they like pick up women in Vegas. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude, this-
And look at the first sentence. David Weatherly is a Renaissance man.
This guy looks like a steampunk punk. Dude.
Like a reject from the steampunk community. Brother. I trust him.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
That wasn't the only book he wrote, if I remember correctly. There's a couple on Black Eyed Kids. So, gotta access that for more content. Going into this, I knew it was an urban legend. I was curious if Black Eyed Kids had any other origins in any other cultures around the world. It just sounds like the UK and America is affected by Black Eyed Kids. They're a first world problem. Yeah, I wanted to know if there's any other legends in like Asia or the Middle East with something similar. And the only thing I could find was just like possessions and like eyes turning black and in possessions. And that seemed more of like a stretch rather than something close to the topic at hand.
Same, but different.
Yeah. So because it's a newer topic, there's not a ton of information on it. Apparently this guy wrote a few books on it. So obviously I'm missing something, but it's not as deeply rooted as I was hoping for it to be from what I could find and from what the wonderful research team has provided. A lot of the resources today were provided by the research team. So
Dope.
shout outs to them.
Hey.
Pretty short. Sorry, everyone. Not
Don't
the
be
most
sorry, dog.
exciting,
Quality content nonetheless.
but yeah,
Yeah.
those are the Black Eyed Kids. Everything that we could find on it.
Hell yeah.
Be careful out there. I know that's my sign off, but like also be careful out there,
Charlie
you know?
was like, what?
Sean's like, get me the
Yeah.
out of here.
Don't let the kids in. Let them stay out in the cold. It's their own damn fault that they're out in the cold.
DJ has nothing to be worried about with his new Glock,
Yeah.
baby. As I was listening to this, the only thing you're right. I'm racking my brain trying to think of any other cultures or anything that have stories that are similar to this, and the only thing I can think of comes to us from England, so it's not even like another culture.
Yeah.
But do you guys remember the Green Children? I covered it probably like 2 years ago.
Green children.
The Green
That
Children.
sounds vaguely
From England?
familiar.
Yes.
The singer
Yeah.
of the Gorillas is some decrepit green dude. If you look, his name's Murdoch. Murdc.
Yeah.
Same.
Probably
Same,
that.
same,
yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wait. I do remember this actually.
Yeah.
The ones
I
that live
talked
in
about it probably,
caves or whatever.
Yes, dude. So I talked about it a long time ago. It's on an old episode. If you want to hear the whole story, go listen to it. But these two kids like come out of the freaking forest, and like this family like raises them. They're green. They talk about they come from under the ground. They live in the civilization, and one of them dies, gets sick because like they don't have access to the same type of foods and stuff. And then slowly over time, I think the girl stops being green and kind of acclimates to the outside world. But yeah, that specifically with Black Eyed Kids, it makes me almost wonder if they're working with the Men in Black. Have you ever heard the theory about grays being basically like bio drones?
No, but that makes sense.
What I mean,
Biodrones, expound.
what I mean by that is like they're not necessarily like sentient beings, but they are like
robots, basically,
robots, but like
organic
made out of
robots.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, made out of like organic matter.
Terminators.
That kind of like go and do things, do tasks for like the higher level aliens. Have you ever come across anything like that?
No, but tell us more.
So yeah, that's like a theory on grays, that they like either are sort of like drones for like reptilians or Lumerians,
Just doing the bidding of someone higher at work.
Yes. And so when you talked about the Black Eyed Kids being paired with Men in Black, that's like the first thing that kind of came to my mind, is maybe that's like a test run of them trying to blend in with like a new program of drones or something,
Yeah, because BKs don't have like a strong MO. They just like,
no, it's pretty ambiguous.
It's super ambiguous. Like they if you let them in, people get sick, and that's it. Like they've like, I don't think there's any stories from all of these accounts where they've like kidnapped people or even murdered people. It's just been like misfortune and bad luck and sickness, which sucks. But it's like, it seems pretty dead end on a short road, you know.
If it was by design, why would they give them black eyes? It seems pretty obvious.
Damn, Sean, that's a good question.
Not that
So
smart.
yeah, like why not just give these fools
Just give
regular
them
ass
some
eyes?
real eyes.
True. It is interesting that they're not allowed to come in unless being granted permission, which that feels way more supernatural, as someone in chat just said. We talked about it being like with voodoo or vampires, or demons. Yeah, it's like there's a very clear like cosmic rule of permission. And giving permission gives all the power. So it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just another like conduit of the supernatural. Like another, because here's the thing, I don't know, there's a level of trickery to it, because it's like you're embodying something that would fool the normal person, which is like children. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty creepy. And it's kind of effed up if it is just a made up what's it called? Creepypasta. It's pretty effed up to make it up about this, because like in the future, if you're driving down a dark road and there is a kid who needs help, it's like everyone's just
bye.
I'm not stopping.
Yeah. See ya.
Children of the Corn, dude. What's funny, because looking into this topic, the journalist who covered some of these things switches the gears a little bit and talks about how in history there is like a big cultural shift with children, where since the beginning of time, children were almost more utility than anything else. Help on the farm.
We need to have more of them.
Like help on the farm, help the family survive.
Child labor.
Pretty much. And then it switched from, and I wrote it down, they said from like socially insignificant to more like economic viability and like hopeful possibility and vulnerability, like giving them education and like trying to teach them like philosophies, even on a simple basic level. You're going to be the future leaders of this world. And with that like change and they said it happened like the Industrial Revolution was like the big shift happened. After that came more emphasis on kids, and they got more of a spotlight in entertainment. More stories were done about them. More resources were like there was way more catering for kids just overall. And then when it comes into entertainment, we have kids, even dolls like Chucky, and then like Emily Rose, and then here in modern day with like Black Eyed Kids. So What I'm saying is maybe we put them back in the sweatshop. Avoid the problem altogether.
Yeah. Far too long
Problem
has they been.
solver.
Yeah. The younglings.
That is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, DJ's Glock to your guys' head. You guys get a knock at the door, and it is a kid who's distressed, needing help.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely not. Depends on what kind of help and if they're going to give me money.
Like, I have 2 nickels, sir.
You got
Mister.
2 nickels worth of help.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's effed. It's hard though, dude. I'm not.
Is it really?
But really though, because
Is it really?
there have
Rare
been
skin
people
disease
that
and
like
die.
will hide outside your door with like the sound of a baby crying to get you to come out. Now we got black-eyed kids, which supernatural or not, still creepy and gives you another reason to distrust things that should otherwise be totally fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Black Eyed Kids, bro. It's a psyop. It's a psyop to divide us. That's my take. Just kidding.
You're right.
A true
Fun.
moral dilemma.
I say we get that book, and DJ, you should listen to it. And if there's anything
Worthwhile?
crazy to add,
No. Get
yeah,
back
we
into
come
it.
back to this.
But
But I feel pretty satiated as far as BEKs go.
no. Same.
Cool. Dope.
Quick ep tonight.
Anything else, brethren?
No, that's it from me.
All right. I love you all. Everyone, if you have stories, I think next week we're going to do a listener sub episode.
Oh, dope.
So go through our emails, go through our IGs, and everyone grab one. I have a couple I can dish out.
Okay, yeah.
There's a couple I need to revisit too. Like I need to hit up that
I have
Mexican lady who was like, every time we talk about my mom, she knows.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
Remember?
Oh my
She said, from the
gosh.
day I
Yeah,
was born, my grandma and my mom were battling for my soul,
My
for the rights
soul.
to my soul.
I totally forgot that.
And
dude.
then she
if
told
she does respond, let's make that the whole
because there was
episode,
there was
that
a
shit is
way
crazy.
there were way more crazy stories after I shared the first few crazy stories, and the day we were supposed to record, she was like, "Can you please not
Don't do
share it at least for a little while?" So
Yeah. I remember you sitting at your desk at work just freaking the hell out. And I was like, I want to know so bad.
I gotta dig for that again.
Cool. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I have all these little threads out there of like people tracking down shit. I gotta go like re-look at them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight was fun. I appreciate
I
it.
think I'm gonna try to stream some games in the next week or so.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I don't know.
some free
It's been a
time?
long time
Cool.
since I've streamed. Been
Cool,
so
cool.
busy.
Yeah.
But be fun.
Do it. Cool.
Anyway,
Guys, we just dropped our new episode, The Warrens Part 2. Go download and listen. Send in your stories. Check out our Patreon at 3 a.m. the3ampod.com or some shit. I can't even remember. But anyway, we appreciate all of you. DJ, that was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
And with that, bye, love you. Be
trust your
safe.
goat, watch your back.
Be careful out there.
Thank you to everyone, the listeners, Brittany, our research team, Ren. We're
You're adios.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of 3 a.m. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon where patrons have access to exclusive content. If you're not able to support us monetarily, don't worry. This episode is on us. You can still rate and review us on whatever platform you listen to us on. It really does go a long way. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere, including Patreon, is the 3 a.m. pod. Finally, do you have any scary stories? If so, submit them to our website, the3ampodcast.com. We love any audio or visual aids that can help bring your stories to life. So file uploads are welcome with your written submissions. We're anxious and excited to hear from you.